Utes all straight to the barriers and through the smoke we come.
Retro Motorsport is brought to you by ACBE, everything you need to supercharge your business. The Auckland Centre for Business Excellence. Welcome to Retro Motorsport. This week, first up, it's 2009 at Pukekohe, and it's the mighty V8 Utes.
It was carnage, and more carnage as the NZ V8 Utes carved their way around the tarmac of Manfield, Ginger and Junior, as always, in battle mode. But the spoils went to the Phantom, who now leads the way heading into round 3. And in stark contrast to last session's round here at Pukekohe, the racing gods have smiled on us with perfect weather. Yes, kia ora and welcome to another session of the NZ V8 Utes. 3 races and a qualifying. But before we go there, let's have a little powwow with a couple of the teams and see what makes them tick. First up, Holden man, Jeff the Spence Spencer.
It was a big learning curve. This is our first foray really into motor racing as such, really from a karting background. Had a bit of a play around in club days with a Group N laser a number of years ago, but really it was from karts to straight into a V8 Ute. It's a controlled class, and I think that was the thing that interested us as well. You know, there's parameters there that we cannot touch, and it's really down to driver. They're big, heavy beasts, and it's all about driving really at the end of the day, and they're a lot of fun. It's been fantastic, really. We set up a partnership, myself and Trevor Jackson from Jackson Enterprises. Now, he deals with TWL, which are Transport Wholesale Suppliers, and he'd be one of their biggest customers there, and so a little bit of clout there. They're passionate about motorsport as well, and they're keen to get in behind us and put their brand. They find that the Ute is a great medium for their advertising. You know, you've got a number of different things, radio, TV, public events, all in one, and having fun while you're doing it. Funnily enough, I'm a qualified builder, and my job is a quantity surveyor and a project manager, and a partnership in a building company, predominantly civil and commercial work. But it's the passion of motorsport that Trevor and I, over the number of years, have really joined together and to do this and do it properly. Bit of a motorsport nut really at the end of the day.
Also in the Holden camp, James Huggy Urquhart.
Last year's been hard at agricultural contracting, but there's no money in that, so I thought I might as well come and waste money on ute racing instead, mate. This is me to a T, eh? Yeah, I'm one of the originals, and hopefully I'll be here till I sort of roll over on one, yeah. Always been a Holden V8 fan, run quite a few HSVs in my time, still own a few of them, and yeah, heard that they were bringing the ute racing to New Zealand. They got old Ford Holden battle, and mate, petrol head from way back, I'm in. We've had Andy Booth, and we've got Roscoe from Outlaw Industries. He's in charge of setting up my my car, and yeah, it's certainly been a big learning curve. And in fact, everyone I think who's driven a race car and then hopped in this to have a drive reckons if you can drive one of these, you can about drive any race car.
And whilst Pukekohe is known as fast and furious, there's more to it than pure horsepower. Andy Booth gives us the rundown.
The heat today is going to be the biggest factor with the Utes here. You know, big heavy cars, and these tyres, if you overdrive them on a hot track, the tyres are going to give up real early. The key to a quick time round here with these things is momentum. You've got to have the car, particularly in those fast corners, carrying as much momentum in, but without the Ute, I should say, sliding across the track. But the real key here is the exit out of the slow corners. Railway or Castrol onto the back straight, and then out of the hairpin. You've got to slow the car up, be really patient, early on the throttle, and then you'll be making time up all the way down the straights.
You know, I know you people sitting there think it's an easy task, but there is immense stress and immense pressure as I work here amongst the V8 Utes. So while I do all the tough work, let's go see what happened in qualifying. Well, it's more stress than these guys have to deal with. All they have to do is point and shoot. And that was the case for Bomber, Phantom and Ginger as they led the field to take the fastest times. And Ginger seemed fairly happy with the morning effort.
You feel like you're on the edge, but you're never perfect, so there's always something to improve on. It's quite a fast track. It's in a big heavy car like this, it's hard to find. Like there's a bit of tyre scrub and screeching and stuff, but that's not necessarily fast. So just trial and error, and we obviously did it all right in that session.
All good in that session, but for the junior McNugget Simon Byrne, things came unstuck in race 1 when he had a tangle with James Huggy Urquhart, and when the Ginger Ninja tried to take advantage of the new gaps coming from the rear of the grid, it was goodbye to his race. Huggy managed to calm himself down enough to carry on, barely, and so too did Simon Junior Byrne, but it was a DNF to add to the day's tally for Kane Lobb. Under restart, Matthew the Phantom Lockwood does what he does best, pushing tyres to the limit as he went around the outside to move quickly into third. The race leaders, Jeff Spencer and Peter Rocketman Rob, were in for a torrid time to try and hold Phantom off, and they also had Sly and Dirty Bob Grove, Mac Bomber Peach and Huggy to deal with as well. A little bit of slip and slide by the under pressure front runners at the hairpin, as shown by Huggy's judicial camera, but in the end they had no answer to the Phantom, with Jeff Spencer grabbing his first podium spot to take second. And while the Mark Cromie Holden was being gingerly returned to the garage, we had time to find out what went wrong.
It's a bit of a letdown. We just want to get through the races cleanly and collect points, but you get these little things, and it's a really narrow track. There's no runoff. There's a bit of a traffic jam, and I just had nowhere to go. I'm not making excuses. There's a bit of a stuff up on my part. Too hot, too late. But the team here at Mark Cromie will get the car going overnight.
And Spence, well, he was soon informed of his 0 to 0 status. Nothing is as it seems.
Yes, we managed to creep about 6 inches at the start. I thought I got away with it, but I didn't. We got a 10-second penalty. Mate, podium. I'll take the podium, though. We've been working away quietly there, and I think our motto is the quiet achievers, mate, and that's what we're going to do.
But wait, there's more. Yes, Graham Senior Byrne was in the thick of it again.
The car in front of me, who shall remain nameless, wasn't giving me room. I was about a second a lap quicker than him. I ducked under him at the hairpin. He squeezed me. I went off. Spun round, got back, caught the field. At least about 50 seconds. So we'll see how the rest of the series goes.
And the series should go well. No major damage at Taupo, but there were some headaches at Manfield. However, category manager Jamie Kett is giving them the thumbs up.
Because the guys have had a season and a half of running. The cars and engineers are getting a lot smarter. The driver's skill level is coming up. And we're really looking between car position 3 and 10. There was only 0.3 of a second across that field. So it was very close racing. Makes great TV. And the teams are getting better and the drivers are getting better.
Coming up, race 2. Right time to get into race 2 here at Pukekohe. It is a reverse grid from the marble draw of race 1, and that puts the now repaired Mark Cromie Holden on the front row alongside Craig Patterson in the Kensbins Ford. It's going to be all action.
Well, I'm doing the front row because the Ginger Ninja is there, and I love saying it, right alongside Paddy.
Well, bombs are all about me, so I'll take him on the second row and third place.
Whatever. The Ward Demolition Ute, and then it's my boy, the Phantom.
Yeah, Mike Perro's going to sit right behind him and take that spot away very quickly.
And then you start getting a little bit lost as we go through the back, don't you, Craig? I mean, the seriousness is right at the front at the moment.
Well, it is indeed, except don't exclude Huggy. He gets upset.
Well, I won't exclude Huggy, and I'll tell you what, I will not exclude the Macca's Ford of Junior Burner because in number 2 he's looking flash.
Well, he is indeed, and that ghost image we saw is a new man, Rusty.
Hang on, skidding, it's round 3 from Pukekohe, we're off.
Oh, straight away, Matt. Well, look at the nice, clean, simple lines the Utes take going into the first corner. We know it's carnage, turn 1 of the Utes. What's going to happen? Nothing.
Not a lot, actually. They cruised through there, which was fantastic. The Ginger Ninja leading like the Ginger Ninja should lead.
Well, Paddy's doing well to sit in behind him, and then it's the Bomber, and just a constant fleet as they try and go too wide, and Spence isn't going to go too wide. He's given the tap already. We're only into the hairpin, and Rusty manages to get him. There he is, the new man, Truck City Rusty.
I tell you what, it's quick round Pukekohe. It's a short lap. You can see the whole thing. We love it at Pukekohe, and the Ginger Ninja continues to lead. He started 1. He's continuing to hold 1.
Well, into the back hairpin, too wide. Paddy's going to try and go around the outside of Senior. He doesn't make it stick. He gets on the ripples, and the Phantom does what the Phantom does best.
Well, the Phantom, what he does best, Craig, take is start back in the pack and start moving his way through as we approach the main straightaway again. You watch him, he's picked up a couple of spots this lap.
Well, they do suggest that his ute is like Wonder Woman's airplane. No one sees it until it's right there.
Right. And how does he find it?
I don't know. He's probably got the special tasking force stuff going on in his head, and it makes him drive very good as he looks up the inside but can't make it stick.
Yeah, it's the end of a high-speed straight. You come into that left-hander at Pukekohe, then it's through the chicanes. Will he be able to get some room on the John Jones Steel ute up the back straight? No, absolutely not.
Nah, Senior's doing a good job. I wouldn't say he's blocking, but I could safely say that he's taking legal tactics.
What Senior normally does is tire towards the end of the race. We mentioned earlier on, he's an old man.
Yeah, he is indeed. Ash does the same thing. So does Sly and Dirty Bob Grove, but they're not afraid to admit it.
Oh, he looked about, he looked it, and he wanted to go down the inside as we approach the hairpin. This is very slow, this corner. You got to get down to 40 or 50, otherwise it's just too difficult to make. Junior Burner makes up a spot on the inside as someone goes a little wide there.
Well, it's not a bad move from the junior, but at the moment we can plainly see the Ginger Ninja Kane Lob taking a look at the in-car. That is Huggy. And what is he doing again, Matt?
Well, I mean, obviously, Huggy has not heard my advice about 40 to 50 into the hairpin, and he's biffed it straight through into the grass.
Well, that's Huggy at his wild best, and there is the Pero machine. Well, all sorts of dramas for Mike Pero. He just can't get it running right, and you might recognise that it's not his recognisable ute.
No, it's not.
Because he did a swap seed, turny, changey thing going on, and unfortunately his second one doesn't look like it's worked for him as well.
Oh, he's got him here, he's got him, surely! The Phantom through the S's into the back straight. He gets over the old man, and he's got to cruise it up the back straight. That's what we're here for.
Oh, hand Shogun some pills. Steady on, son. Look at him go.
Burner, in car, he's really wrestling with it there, isn't he? And you wait, look on the inside, there goes my boy, the Phantom.
Well, that was a pretty slick piece of skilled race driving. You can't excuse Senior for giving him the gap. He gave it to him and Phantom was all over him.
Well, come on, Senior, don't give him a sniff. That's how you get beaten.
Well, he's being done in as well by Sly and Dirty Bob Grove, who's gone in heavy under brakes and hasn't been able to make it stick. Graham's gone up the inside into the hairpin. He's pushing Sly out, but Sly's got the better run. Andy Boo said it earlier, it's all about exit speed.
It's all about momentum on the way out of the corner, getting on the gas at the right time as we have a look at the Pero car. The yellow is out. We can't have it sitting there at Pukekohe. What happened? Did he run out of fuel?
Well, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Maybe. I think he just from race control, Pero was getting text message alerts about mortgage rates. He had to stop, get on the laptop.
Well, that's the problem. It's probably drained his battery.
I think that's probably what's gone wrong here. So we just cruise around at the moment, and here are that's a nice view, isn't it?
Well,
you've got the 5 guys working hard, pushing Pero off the track.
Even St. John are in on the action. Obviously bored.
Well, hang on a sec. When you say St. John's in on the action, he's got about 2 fingers on the back windscreen there. He's hardly pushing, is he?
Well,
he's there for safety.
Yeah, I hope he pays them. Right, so they're into single file now as they continue on a warm-up. They try and keep the tyres warm. Sly's doing a very professional move there, keeping the tyres warm, probably just itching up the brakes a little bit. Under the safety car, he's off now and they're underway. Still, the front sees the Ginger Ninja, well, leading, and it's going to be difficult to pass. Mac the Bomber Peach in second. The Ginger here, Matt, he controls the speed. Yeah. It's all up to him.
And look who's in third at the moment. It's the boy, the Phantom. He's made his way right through the pack. And he, I believe, at the end of this lap will be sitting right on the back of the Ginger Ninja. It's just an ESP thing's coming to me.
Well, it's a slick move from Ginger. He's holding them up, really making them work hard as they try and pull away. Look like Spence got a good launch off the line, but no one's going to touch Ginger and Bomber. Phantom's been left behind a little bit.
Well, what was he doing? Changing channels on the radio. Phantom, you cannot, at a restart, get caught short like that, and he has been.
Well, he goes wide again like he did in race 1. He just loves that line. He's not afraid to try and push the tyres to the limit.
The Phantom, he's been enjoying coming onto the back straight. At the moment, well, the setup wasn't there, was it? 1, 2, 3 remain as they were at the restart and will be at the end of this lap, unless something goes wrong at the hairpin.
Well, unless something goes wrong, it is the hairpin at Pukekohe, famous for all sorts of action. Ginger still leading in front of Bomber, and then Phantom comes up heavy under brakes. Bomber doing a good job to stay well off the tailgate of Ginger and tries to slice up the inside, but again, momentum, acceleration, mass times force, there's something there.
Yeah, E equals MC squared times 4 to the power of 5 divided by 9.
See, that's why you paid the big dollars. We're still watching Ginger lead the grid out in front, and behind him is the Bomber and Phantom, but there's a good battle raging now for 4th and 5th between Paddy and Chaos.
What you will have noticed on the last lap, Craig, is that the Bomber and the Ginger Ninja actually were able to open up a little bit of a gap on the back straight from the Phantom. I'm not sure whether that was something to do with the setup, but he's much closer now, and we'll get an indication of speed as they go down the back straight on this lap.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, they're both front runners are using the VE Commodore. It's the newer machine. Theoretically, it should be better on a faster racetrack that Pukekohe is. The other one that will be the same as Teretonga when they eventually get down there at the end of the season. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense, and the Ford seem to be struggling to keep up. And saying that Ford there is holding Pia Chaos Ward off nicely.
Yes, absolutely. Look, they're very even, these cars. There's no doubt about them. Here we go with a smoke. He didn't inhale. We'll look at the carnage after the break. The V8 Utes from Pukekohe.
All right, we're back in action with the NZ V8 Utes from Pukekohe. It is race number 2, and the Ginger Ninja Kane Lobb still leading the field ahead of Mac the Bomber Peach. It's the battle of the VEs up front, but it is Holden 1, 2 and 3 because the Phantom still just slotting himself into 3rd there, Shogun.
Well, the Ginger Ninja started in 1st, and he remains there. The Bomber, he seems to have plenty of speed in this ute. At the moment, the Ginger Ninja holding him off well, but the Bomber is every now and again setting himself up, moving into position. He's going to try and duck down the inside here somewhere if he can keep it close enough as the Phantom gets a little sideways.
Well, Phantom, he loves doing that, and I'd suspect that what Bomber's trying now to do is make Ginger look in the rear vision mirror every second he can instead of concentrating on up front stuff, and it looks like he's doing it now. I bet you Ginger is all he's seeing is Silver Ute.
You gotta brake at the right point. You know your braking points. Don't try and push it. The Ginger Ninja gets it right, the Bomber gets it right, and then Matty Lockwood behind them gets it right. He is sitting there waiting for these two to get too competitive.
Well, if they tap and knock each other out of the race, it's all over. Goodnight Nurse and the Phantom takes another win. There's still a battle going in the background. It is Paddy and then Chaos, Huggy, Rocket Man Rob and Sly and Dirty doing his thing.
Oh, you just rattle the names off so nicely. It impresses me big time as we go back to the front, which is where I'm concerned with. And it's the Ginger Ninja just continuing to hold off the Bomber. But it's starting to take a toll. I can feel it in my waters. The Ginger Ninja's getting tired because these two other Holden Utes right on his clack.
Well, you kind of call Bomber the more aggressive driver and Ginger the more fluid driver coming up through the ranks of the open wheelers. So he knows that you shouldn't do touchy-touchy where Bomber's done the touring cars, where rubbing is racing.
Well, it's all about losing wing mirrors, and we know that. As we approach the hairpin again, pretty much we're just lapping with these three, toying with each other. Bit of in-car, Huggy Urquhart takes a position.
Well, that was a pretty simple pass there. Kernahan backed off the brakes. A little bit of a sissy pants move, I'd quietly say.
Really?
Well, he just got him on the inside. I think I should go away before Kernahan finds me.
I tell you what, technically, you've got no idea what you were saying. He's broke at the right point, or should he have braked?
Either way, the action was even further behind him when Rusty, the new man who was taken over, I can't remember which ute it was from last season, but one of them has had all sorts of action. Still plenty happening in the middle of the field, and there's actually a bit of a hold-up between Paddy and Chaos. Here's the battle coming through the S's. Rocket Man locks up, Chaos locks up, Sly and Dirty Bob Grove wonders what's going on, and the Junior has no way past.
Well, the Junior, he is not making headway like we've seen him in previous rounds. What's going on with Simon, the Junior Burner, in the Macca's ute?
Well, we're in car at the moment. Hopefully we can find out. Maybe he's lacking pace. Maybe he's lacking some nerve this weekend at Pukekohe with the pace. But he's a fairly big boy. It's not like he's lacking any courage.
No, you wouldn't have thought so. And certainly after chocking himself full of McDonald's burgers through the week, there shouldn't be an issue.
Well, a big slide there from Bomber because Ginger got that corner all wrong and Bomber thought it was his, but he never managed to take it. Once again, slots into the tailpipe of Ginger Kane Lobb in the Mark Cromie Holden. The Super Freight Barn Company Holden is all over him like white on rice.
White on rice? I tell you, I think he's quicker. He just can't get position.
Well, it seems to be the case, and there is father and son. It is Graham Byrne we're in car with, looking up the back of Junior McNugget in the McDonald's Ford. And they're having a good ding-dong between themselves.
Yes, the father and son combination. They worked in tandem a little bit last year. We're not seeing it so much this series.
Well, you can see he's not exactly fluid on the steering wheel, is he? So maybe that's part of his problem, although he was attacking the ripple strips. Plenty of hard braking going into the Castrol.
Smoke left and right, these guys. They're in this snake and they want positions. But the Utes, they're just so evenly matched this weekend. This Pukekohe circuit is suiting everyone.
Well, just looking at the way Junior was driving, I think he's quicker. I really do. The way he was struggling to actually hold the Ute back, so he didn't get up the back.
I've got to interrupt you. When I see Wardy smoking it up every time heading into this hairpin, all I want to say to him, get on the CB and say, just calm down.
Well, I suspect he's got a problem now. If that's the second time he's done a smoker, every time he touches his brakes, as soon as that tyre hits the tarmac in that spot, it's going to keep flatting in exactly the same position. It's Tata. Why has he got his wipers on, Shogun?
I got no idea. I think he thought he was putting the blinker on, but it was the wrong side and he just couldn't get him off. He panicked.
Well, we know way up front there is a battle for first, second and third, and there it is there. The Ginger, the Bomber, the Phantom, while the action happens in the middle of the field, and I could safely say Paddy's holding them up. He's a little slow. There's some speed scrubbing off.
Hang on. The Ginger Ninja's got it all wrong. He's got it wrong big time, and the Bomber has been there ever so close lap after lap. Will he get him? Can he handle the hairpin? Calm me down, please, Craig.
Oh, steady on, Tiger. Bomber has taken him on the inside. Ginger will not be able to hold the outside running. Can the Phantom do what he does best and also grab and sneak a spot? No, I don't think he can, because Ginger will have the inside running. He'll slipstream behind Bomber, and suddenly 1 and 2 have swapped positions. The Phantom Lockwood has to stay in third.
It's all about mistakes, and there's another one, and there's another one from Wardy.
Wow.
I see him smoking on the hairpin one more time. I'm going to smack him.
And I thought I saw Junior tapping the sly and dirty Bob Grove, but we're coming across, and boy, there's some pace on these Utes, and Bomber goes through.
The Ginger Ninja, he wants the Bomber. The Bomber squeaked past him last lap. Now, setting it up as we get towards those final laps to get us the finish. The Bomber, he gets a little wide. That's where he got the Ginger Ninja last lap.
And Phantom looks like he wanted to try go around the outside. He got good exit speed out of there. Unfortunately, he lacks the power of those VE Commodores, and he couldn't make it stick. They come past the railway and back into the tight hairpin.
Holding my breath again. Holding my breath. The Ginger Ninja gets good position here, but the Bomber Mac Peach does not get this wrong. You see, the main thing with this hairpin is, and you'll find it all weekend, Craig, is if you get it wrong, you'll lose. If you handle the corner, you will not be overtaken there.
Well, he's obviously, as you said earlier, faster on the pace, because look at him, he's leaving the field now. He just needed that to be a few laps earlier, and he would have put out a good spot.
Well, you just got to keep waiting, and eventually you'll get the checkered, and Bomber's done that over the Ginger Ninja and the Phantom.
Well, there is the other battle, and I reckon Junior is indeed quicker than Bob, but he can't get past. Paddy comes in to take fourth. Chaos won't be able to slipstream beside him, and that is the running there. It's a good battle. So Mac Bomber Peach steals the win away from Kane, the Ginger Ninja Lob, and being a South Auckland boy, it makes sense that he should win at his home track.
Yeah, we're so close out there and just waiting for Kane to make a small mistake, and that's how I luckily jumped on it and got through there.
You did. I mean, podium, that's grouse.
Yeah, really enjoying it out there, and the Utes are so close, it's having some great fun out there.
And the lads do seem to be having fun. It was a great battle, and when you look at the fact that Phantom is running the earlier model Holden, it kind of puts the whole effort into perspective. But the Ginger also knows the deal.
Just dropped the wheel off the side of the track, just ran that ripple strip on the outside and got a little bit out of shape, so he got a good run onto me onto the straight. Just goes to show, yeah, you got to be on your game with the whole race, eh?
But the battles weren't just up front. Craig Paddy Patterson was having a good one with Peter Chaos Ward.
I flat spotted my tyres in the first lap, so that really meant that it was like gadung, 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 and I had a Fred Flintstone on the front corner, so it's like, so every time I come round and under braking down the back straight, I thought, I'll get him, and then I was like, I'll back out of this. This is gonna end in panel damage, and I'm over that shit.
Let's hear Paddy's side of the story.
I gave him a wee bit of room. All I did was just stick to the inside and said, if you want to go around me, you've got to go around the hard way.
And when Mike the Lone Ranger Pero had Ute problems, he outsourced, but then he had trouble with that one as well. I hope he looks after his new friends.
Did a swap last night, heavy problems with this one, so we managed to pick up another one last night and got it out there. worked very early this morning to get it out there, and a fuel blockage, I think, or something. It's just not quite right. So second lap was going great, but time to pull in. We started off the back, made a few places, but yeah, really enjoyed it.
So what's the plan now for the rest of the weekend?
Fix the car and fix the driver and get out there again.
Okay, so with a little break in proceedings, now is the perfect time to do a profile checkup. Let's go see race winner Mac the Bomber Peach.
I originally started in go-karting when I was 5 years old. Did go-karting for almost 12 years. Came through the grades there and did a little bit of offshore racing in it as well. And then we got an opportunity to a V8 Tour through Paul Manuel and Motor. That was back in 2000, 2001. And then sort of went from there. We had a few years off. And when the U racing came up, it sort of seemed like some bit of fun motorsport we could get back into, and not too much pressure and still relaxed. That's just certainly what it's been. Super Freight's my father's business. It's a family business based in Auckland. It's a transport company, and that is the team name, is what we run under. The barn company came on board when we came with the new ute. Originally we were running an older ute, and the barn company put a proposal together, which was awesome, and thank them very much for that. And that's why we're now the barn company.
You've got a great crew. We've seen it through the whole first season. Who are they? How did you get them to come along to a ute racing series with you?
Well, actually, they're a couple of mates and my girlfriend. Mates who've been about this old, this age, right through primary school together, and yeah, we're still good mates and play rugby and get on the piss and that type of thing still. It's awesome to be doing it with mates, and we all pitch in and help, and it is great.
Time for the mechanics to put the utes back together. Race 3 after the break.
Your car is under constant attack. While you may not see it, your paint is being assaulted by damaging particles and pollutants. Mother's Speed Clay 2.0 packs a high-performance cleaning punch, restoring brilliance to your car's finish in record time. Clay as you wash or clay as you wax with our fastest and most versatile clay ever. This is Speed Clay 2.0 from Mothers.
Junior's managed to slot himself into position as well in grid 8.
And then we could move back a little and look at the two John Jones Steel cars side by side, 11 and 12.
Holden and Ford. It's always hard to get them right when they're out on the track, but we can do. And because of his DNF in race 1, the Ginger is back in the pack with Pero as they line up. It is race 3, Shogun.
Well, let's get underway. And the flag drops, and away we go. And I tell you what, this is a drag race, isn't it? Right off the start. The Phantom just gets pipped there by the Bomber.
Well, Sly and Dirty had an absolute shocker. He was blitzed by 2, if not 3 of the Utes. And we're on cam with Senior, trying to see what's going on. He hasn't got his gloves on.
Oh, early in the race like this, it's fantastic. Hang on a second.
He hasn't got his gloves on?
He hasn't got his gloves on. We should not be pointing that out.
No, we shouldn't.
He will be fined over the next week.
I think so. There'll be a big fine coming in the season for that man. Meanwhile, it's a good race out front because the Bomber has taken the lead as expected, and look at the gap. He is really quick around his home track.
Massive gap. Look, clearly one of the best drivers in this series is Matty Locke with the Phantom. He now sits behind the Bomber. Can he outdrive a clearly faster car in the hairpin? Everyone's lost the plot! I mean, we've been to Pukekohe year in, year out, and continually at the end of... Who is this guy?
Shrek is doing his thing again. Go the Shrek.
Well, I mean, not only have you lost it once, Shrek, but you decide to start donutting it up on the grass. You'll never have any control.
Well, he's back underway in the number 50 John Jones Steel Holden while we watch the battle transpire in front of us between Paddy and Junior. Junior tries to go on the inside. It's not going to happen, Junior, because that is one fast spot.
Yeah, just cut the gap, didn't he? And Paddy said the door is shut. Bye-bye, Junior. Try it again next lap, but I'm not going to give you too much room then either. Look, these guys, they're onto the back straight again. Please, if you do one thing, listen to me. There's a hairpin at the end of this thing.
Oh, you're giving them a warning?
I'm letting them know, reminding them that they've got to slow down a lot.
Right, well, let's check out the action and see if they're listening. They go past the railway kink and they're heading towards that very, very slow hairpin. Paddy's in front of Junior. It's a nice rough ride, isn't it? It's not exactly smooth.
You drift out towards the left-hand side of the track as you approach the hairpin. Go in deep, go in with controlled speed.
They listened.
There we go, look.
They listened.
With a little bit of guidance, we can get through without smoke and loss of paint.
Well, I'm watching Pero go a little wide. Dusty's well on behind him. We're keeping an eye on the McDonald's. Ford in the middle of the pack, and he needs to do a lot of work to try and get past Paddy. And Paddy is a very seasoned racer. He's even raced touring cars in Europe, so the man knows how to get around a racetrack efficiently and stop people from passing him.
And that's one of the keys, getting around the racetrack efficiently and stopping people passing you.
I see you know the inside oil about motorsport. Right, Paddy is out there in front of Junior and Sly and Dirty Bob Grove, who, remember, had that major carnage at Manfield, so it's good to see him back on a racetrack.
Well, major carnage is partly what the NZ-V8 Utes are all about. I'd like to see the Junior getting a little bit of the job done today. He seems to be struggling. I'm not sure if he's getting a little stale on the Junior burgers. He may need to move on to the cheeseburgers.
Well, it's almost like he's being held up by the other drivers. I'm sure he's got the pace. You know, he's getting close to Paddy, but he's just not enabled himself to get around him. So, you know, we'll try and check it out here. He ducks left, he ducks right. He's going heavy under brakes. We can see the front of the ute dipping down, but he can't seem to get around. Well, let's watch as he pulls out in the background. Can we see has he got the pace to go left or right? No, he doesn't. So, okay, there's 3 Fords there. Maybe the Fords aren't liking Pukekohe this weekend.
Look, the beauty of this whole situation is they've listened. We're getting through the hairpin without smoke. We're not ruining tyres and we're not smashing cars.
Well, it is a change as we watch them come down the start-finish straight. Is still Bomber and the Phantom, and then we've got the Rocket Man in a good little ding-dong battle with Peter Chaos Ward.
Yeah, Mr. Bald Tyres Chaos Ward, they're calling him after this weekend.
Yeah, now you're only allowed 6 tyres in the whole weekend. That includes the qualifying and the races, so he won't have many spares up his date ready for the pit crew if he does it again.
Well, I tell you what, he has produced more smoke over this weekend than a fireworks display.
Well, he has been pretty wild down at the hairpin, yeah, as they go into the tight one. They're going past Railway now, and there's still the Bomber out in front of Phantom. Rocket Man Rob is doing a great job. This is his best performance so far, including last season in the NZ-V8 Utes.
Well, what about Junior Burner? He's tried to go up the grass, go up the inside, and it's just not going to work on Paddy.
Well, I may be harping on about it, but it's looking like...
Look,
you've seen smoke again.
Again, we're returning to the smoke. Let's just calm down as we go in car of the McDonald's Ford Simon Byrne.
Well, as I was getting back to it, I said earlier, it looked like he has a lot of pace. Now, he seems to be catching these guys under the high speed at the top end of the field, but then he can't get the exit out of the corner. What's all the dust? There's someone gone off again.
Well, that's what they're doing here today. They're going off, they're touching, they're trying to get up the inside, they're trying to get around the outside. There's a track there in the middle, boys. How about we use it?
All right, the ding-dong battle is still there. Wild card racing. Here we are with Huggy at the moment, and behind him is Ginger. Ginger had the DNF in race 1. He had a good result in race 2. He cannot get past Huggy to gain valuable points, and he needs them. Otherwise, Phantom will streak away with this series.
DNFs hurt the Ginger Ninja last year, didn't they?
Big
if
time.
anyone knows about DNFs, it's Ginge.
That's right. Now they're going to go 3 wide. No, they're going single file back into the final kink before they hit the hairpin. Oh, hang on.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. This is what I've been waiting for. The John Jones Steel Ute, it goes banging into the corner, hits, I think, the guardrail on the inside, makes his way around the corner and has another go.
It's Senior and Huggy. Here we go. Shogun Senior and Huggy having a tap on the inside. What's he going to do? He's calming down now. He's lost it.
Bang. Simple tap. Well, when I say a simple tap, a fairly large tap, and Senior scrambles with his gloveless hands hanging onto the steering wheel.
Smoke.
Smoke.
Steam?
Yes.
Either way, it's not good. We're watching the replay, and that has got to hurt.
Well, he nudges the wall, doesn't he, at the start, and then he comes back at it. And from this angle, it doesn't look quite so bad, but the in-car actually gives you an indication of the speed he was carrying.
Yeah, well, it's a strange place. I'm sure no vehicle have ever hit that wall before, and at least he's got the door open, but he's not getting out. Yes, he is. That's good to see, and he's walking.
Here we go again. It's just a simple tap, and it spears him off into the guardrail. The arm coat takes a whack. Then he hits the concrete barriers, and at the same time, he turns on the wipers just to give the screen a bit of a clean before we know we've got to pull up on the infield.
Well, it doesn't look like they're going yellow, so the racing is still underway. I don't know what's going through Junior's head as he watches his dad on the side of the track, hoping he's all right. He's still going into the hairpin in a nice fluid motion. It seems to have slowed them down a bit. Maybe we are under yellow.
I was going to say, look, are they all frightened after seeing Senior losing it there, because they've gone through there pretty much in first gear, stopped, they're doing 10k an hour.
Yep, it could be a yellow flag. We'll have to wait and see. We can't see anything from race control coming through at the moment. There's a yellow and there is a red flashing light, so they could have pulled the race.
Well, it's in one of those positions, as you say. It's an unusual place. It's not the kind of place you'll always see cars sitting. You've got to just clear it away. What we don't want is another incident like that where another car comes through and cleans it up.
Indeed, that's exactly right. So the safety car is out on the track while the tow truck goes to pick up Senior Byrne, and at least he's out and healthy. That's the fine news.
Shaken, stirred, but ready to put that cranky old carcass back in there next time. It won't be in this race, but we will see him soon. A break here at the NZV8s from Pukekohe, and then we'll be back with more carnage.
Decide what story you want to tell. Make the moment worth living.
We make ourselves who we are. We decide.
Sometimes what one needs to say is too important to let fear get in the way.
I have made many mistakes, but I know now that I have used my moment well.
Welcome back to the action from the NZV8 Utes. It is race 3 from Pukekohe as we watch Senior Graham Byrne have a little bit of tap-tap and an argument with Huggy and the Armco Shogun.
Nothing too serious for Senior, but as I say, being as old as he is, the body just doesn't recover like it used to. He is okay though, he's walking around, he's spoken to the crew, all is okay.
Well, the good thing is it always is the crumple zone that fails, and that's the nice thing about them. Remember, they're not fully bred space-framed race cars, so they have a crumple zone. Doing what it does makes it look messier than it really is.
Well, you know, they are a pretty much production car, so not too many modifications to them. Wheels, suspension, not a lot else.
Exactly right. Bit of brake work, but they're still pretty heavy. 1.8 tonne as this 1.8 tonne gets underway single file as Bomber. Just like in race 2, we had a restart and Bomber has to hold the pace. No one's allowed to pass until he goes over the start-finish line, and he leads the pack away. The Phantom goes wide on the outside. Will the Phantom do what he always does? Tries to go round the outside on the S's. Not this time.
He's not going to get round the outside, but he might sneak through the inside if he gets positioned through the S's as they approach the back straight, and the Phantom, as we hold our breath, doesn't.
Well, it's almost as though Bomber knew that line was going to be taken by Phantom. He's probably seen him do it in 2 earlier races and said, well, try this way, mate, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's fairly pedestrian at the moment. We are waiting, though, for some action back in the pack. I want to know about Steve Elliott. Talk to me about Steve Elliott, the new guy in 71, as we go back into the hairpin. Junior Burner up the inside. Can he do it?
Well, Spencer's going to go around the outside. Junior has given Paddy a tap. Sly and Dirty Bob Grove comes around the inside of Spence, who tried to do the thing that we've never heard of, going around the outside on the hairpin. We just saw Steve Elliott Rusty in the background, new to the Utes, and having a bit of fun around Pukekohe.
Having a bit of fun, and that is what it's all about as we go back in car. The McDonald's Ford of Simon Byrne, and there's more
dust
tyres off the side. We're putting more dust on the track. As we come onto the main straight, we don't need that.
It's a very comfortable ride, isn't it? It's very smooth.
Well, I think the camera needs to be mounted more firmly. We're getting too much shake in there.
That's probably
anyway,
what it
we'll
is.
sort that out next time.
So, Junior all over the back of Craig Paddy Patterson, the southern man from Mosgiel against the man from Christchurch, the McNugget and the McDonald's, the Ken Spin Ford and the McDonald's Ford, and then the Sly and Dirty Bob Grove in another Ford, and Ginger Ninja way at the back of the pack because he had to start from the back after his DNF in race 2.
I don't want to harp on about Junior, but there's something wrong. There's something wrong this week. He's not driving like he has been. The Utes not got the pace it did have, and he's not overtaking like we always know he can.
Well, he's obviously had the mojo drilled out of him because, yeah, he's not up the front of the pack, and that is where we used to sing. We're looking back from Mike Pero, who's managed to get his Ute back on the track, and that's good news. And Shrek once more, the heavy lockup goes wide, and, well, Pero's knocked Kernahan off the track. Shrek's gone tatas. It's all over. Good night, nurse. What's Shrek thinking?
Oh, here we go.
Second time.
Another spin, same position. He liked it last time. He thought, I'll go off again.
Well, it's almost that carousel thing going on. It's like a free fair ride.
I think he decided. He actually picked out a lap. He said, I'll do it then. And he did it.
The Bomber leads the field in front of the Phantom, way out in front, and don't be shocked that the Phantom can keep up with him, even though he's in the older Ute. Junior goes left, goes right, coming into the Jenny and S's. It's not going to happen, but boy, has he got some pace now. He's getting at the end of the fast straights, he's got a speed, and he's losing it elsewhere.
Yeah, it's not working for him. It's just not working for him.
Sly and Dirty will be very happy. The fact that he's keeping the Ginger Ninja Cane Lob in behind, that's some good racing lines, because, again, there's an age difference here, probably about 50 years, in fact. It's good work from the Sly.
We don't like to harp on about the old guys in the field, in the paddock, but I hope that Senior Booner is okay.
We should call them the establishment.
Yeah, I prefer older gentlemen.
All
Huggy
right.
Urquhart now. He is...
Huggy. Huggy.
What's happening, mate?
There he goes. He's been watching Shrek, and anything you can do, I can do better.
Well, hang on. Let's see if he does the donut. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Well,
No.
he's not quite gone the whole hog.
He's just decided that off-road racing is more his ticket.
I thought we'd sorted this out before, but apparently everybody only listens for about 10 laps and then we move on, go breaking late at the hairpin.
We're watching out at the back of Mike Pero at the trail of the field, and it is Rusty and Shrek, and there goes Rusty. He's gone.
My
gone,
goodness.
Shogun.
He has just nailed the fence big time. That's a concrete barrier. The Ute stops in the middle of the main straightaway. The smoke starts to come out of it. They call him Steve Elliott in the 71. Well, I tell you what, that hurt.
Oh, Rusty has gone. Rusty, all right. We're watching the front of the field, and no doubt they will be red flagged because they can't continue to race with him sitting in the middle of the track. We hope for a replay there because that was some heavy-duty impact.
Oh, we'd love to see the replay. He's coming onto the main straightaway, but he doesn't turn in. He comes straight up over the hill, over the mountain, and bang! Straight into the guard railing. He is not going to be impressed when he gets out and has a look at his car.
Well, we have to wait and see if this will be race finish proper in race 3 of Pukekohe. The Bomber still leading the field ahead of the Phantom. Rocket Man Rob. Well, do we have a first ever podium for Peter Robb?
Peter Robb, the Rocket Man, to be feeling over the moon. He packed his bags last night pre-flight and he's picked up his first series points. Well done.
Well, it could be. There is the red. I would say that would safely be the position that they'll finish in as they creep around, and no doubt they'll do a little bit of eyeballing of the Ute.
Well, that is a disappointing way to finish. The checkered flag comes out. We have our winner and we certainly have our loser. The loser being Rusty. The winner being the Bomber, Mac Peach.
Wow, well, what an interesting way to finish at Pukekohe. It was a heavy impact, and there is the man just wondering what went wrong as he wipes the sweat from the brow.
The sweat from the brow. He's got a migraine, Craig. He's just ruined a Ute.
Well, the drama never stops in the NZ V8 Utes, and it was another wonderful result for the Bomber as he nervously held the Phantom off to take the checkered flag in the round win.
Yeah, mixed emotions when the safety car came out. Thought, oh no, we're going to have to go through this again, but yeah, no, it worked out well. An awesome weekend, and hats off to the crew. They put in an awesome effort. It went well, wrapped.
And race 3 worked out to be roses and perfume for the Rocket Man Peter Robb.
We were just following Matty, and I had my eyes in the mirror and I was watching old Woody. I thought he was coming, but he's going to struggle to get past.
He didn't get too close though, so he did a good job.
Yep, no, we were driving defensive lines.
Not a great start to the series for Steve Elliott, but he wasn't the only one to meet the Armco at Pukekohe. But the round belongs to Mac Bomber Peach.
So a fantastic round for the Rocket Man Robb as he gets his first ever podium spots. Some people will pack up and simply go home. Others, like Rusty, who had an unfortunate turn of events, will have to do a few more repairs, and we hope to see him at the next round. That's it from Pukekohe for the NZ V8 Utes.
What is speed? Let's agree on two things. Speed is what gets you there, faster. And speed always leaves a smile on your face. This is Speed, high-performance car care from Mothers.
We love V8 so much, let's have some more of them. This time there's 2 of them in every boat. It's 2011 at Whittianga, and it's time for the thundering offshore powerboats.
At round 3 of the championship, it was the chance for the smaller boats to get their own back on the bigger boats. But up front, it was Doosan taking their first win for 2011 after Fairview struck engine problems. Arguably the best race in behind was in Superboat Light, where New Zealand blokes in red steel went at it. New Zealand blokes taking their 3rd consecutive win for the 4th round at Napier. Doosan were trying hard to stay with Fairview in the opening laps and then had this moment right in front of the packed spectator area. Chic Hydro and Pro Floors had their own moment, buzzing a fishing boat at 118 mile an hour on the racecourse, but Fairview went on to win their 3rd race out of 4. Fairview Windows heading into round number 5 with a 200-point lead over Doosan. New Zealand blokes 3rd overall ahead of Chic Hydro, Red Steel and Pro Floors. New Zealand blokes leading the Superboat Lights. Onto the 60-mile category, it's Conica Minolta leading overall from Auckland District Collections 1 and Espresso Engineers. Auckland District Collections 2 lead Honda, 5th overall. So it's the halfway point of the 2011 Greyglass New Zealand Offshore Powerboat Championship, and Whitianga for round 5 has always been one of the more action-packed venues for the New Zealand offshores. The start was delayed for 40 minutes as the swell produced by the massive earthquake in Japan created several surges throughout the morning, and the boats had difficulty even getting out of the marina. And Whitianga in the past has been a round that has been make or break for a title run, with Fairview leading Doosan by just 200 points. So let's have a look at the race course on the North Island's east coast. A popular seaside town, 12 laps for the 100-mile category, 7 laps for the 60s. Arguably, it is one of the most spectacular races on the New Zealand offshore calendar.
Go left, mate, go left, go left, going left. Get Fairview out. Yep.
This is the race start, heading down to the waterfront.
We're off, mate.
That was on board with Chic Hydro, on board now with Doosan. Sam Fillmore back in the driver's seat. Wayne Carson subbing for him at the previous round in Napier. Wonderful sights across Mercury Bay, on board with Fairview.
Go down a little. Watch out, we're going to go across, go across.
Making their first run down to the beachfront, another big crowd in, and it's pretty close.
Polish straight ahead.
Reminder to the patrol boats, if you can call a punt before you put your hammer down so we can hear you.
Now the thing to watch out for here as we go rearward off the back of Doosan, watch for the big gaps in the water. You can see these big superboats making the big leaps of these big swells. 4 superboats, Chic Hydro, Pro Floors, Fairview and Doosan. And we've got the Energizer battery man joining Murray Tuffin in the cockpit on Chic Hydro for Whitianga. Back through the pack, Auckland District Collections 2, the Formula Honda Championship leaders. And CRD Automotive carrying an onboard camera for the race as well. So it looks like Fairview Windows and Doors have got the early jump ahead of Doosan. Chic Hydro and Pro Floors are right together side by side. Beautiful sunny day. And this Whitianga race in the past, if the wind blows up, can be one of the toughest races on the calendar as Fairview screams along the waterfront.
Nice and easy, super easy.
Making the tightest turn off the beachfront. They'll head back out into the rolling swells, on board with Doosan just to the inside of Fairview with the camera helicopter right above them. Chasing Fairview, heading back out to Centre Island. They make a small right-hand turn here and head back out into the bay. It's close in the opening lap.
Right, just watching, eyes out.
Looks like an easy run for the big boys, but further back in the pack, the Formula Hondas. Not doing it quite so easy. On board with the Duns and CRD Automotive. Looking for another good consistent run here as Fairview head back out towards Centre Island. Watch the big leaps over the swells. Sort of approaching that 100 mile an hour mark as they get the acceleration off the beachfront. You can see the GPS tracking where they are out on the race course. Doosan just to their inside.
Nice.
Looking out the back, you can see Schick Hydro and Pro Floors not too far behind, and then it'll be Red Steel and NewZealandBlokes.co.nz. Oh, look at the big gaps in the water as Doosan's getting lift over these big rolling swells. Carrie Gleeson, just a brief lift there on the throttles. They're chasing down Fairview, and you can see the gaps in their wake as they're lifting up over the top of these swells. How low is the chase helicopter? You can just about see underneath Doosan over these swells. It's a drag race on the first lap between the championship leader and the reigning 1NZ. Doosan pulling up alongside. It's going to be a tough run up into the top mark.
Yep. And we've got the line.
Doosan round the top mark. They've got the lead. Fairview to their outside as they make their run back down towards the beachfront to complete the first lap of 12 for the 100-miler here at Whitianga, round 5 of the Rayglass New Zealand Offshore Powerboat Championships. Back on board with Fairview, looking out the back again. Pro Floors and Schick Hydro not too far behind. Back on board with the race leader.
Country mile, don't worry about it.
Just see on their onboard, Doosan to their left. Unbelievable pictures. This is why Whitianga is one of the best races on the calendar. Fairview pull up alongside Doosan. Just seem to be sitting a little bit flatter on the water right now as we're back on board.
Big bump. Yeah, mate. Mike's upward. Yeah, Mike's upward.
So Fairview just sneaking ahead. Carrie Gleeson will be working on the trim just to get this boat to settle. They've got on top of their water ballast problems from the first couple of rounds of the championship. But Fairview just starting to sneak ahead. Down to start the second lap of 12.
Okay.
So looking at about a 5-minute lap, each lap around this race course. Check this out off the back of Doosan. The chase helicopter just about sat on the back deck of the big Phantom. Couple of hangers there for Doosan. They're trying hard to stay with Fairview.
Yeah, Doosan's way back. They're just nice and slow.
So making the left-hander back down onto the Whitianga beachfront. Chris Hanley there saying they're pretty comfortable where they are. They can't afford to let up because Doosan is only a couple of seconds back. You can see how close they are to the beachfront. There's Pro Floors back in third. They're not too far behind. There's Schick Hydro just coming into back of shot. Some wonderful pictures in the opening lap. Doosan with an inside run. They made up some ground along the beachfront.
Nice corner, mate.
Carrie Gleeson there just complimenting Sam Fillmore.
Come on!
They are wound up. This is absolutely all on as they're going to try and get that inside run to the right-hander back out to Centre Island. Fairview get to the turn first, a big wash down there, 2 big wash downs for Doosan. On the upside, it clears the onboard camera. The action continues at Whitianga, round 5 of the Rayglass New Zealand Offshore Powerboat Championships. Running in the 5th place overall, leading lights, NewZealandBlokes.co.nz, Flea, Coolant, and Bob Smith, the reigning NZ1 in the lights. There's Red Steel, Brooke Faulkner and Tony Carson, not too far behind them. Hasn't been a lot of difference in the championship speed-wise between these two boats, but Red Steel have just had some little reliability issues. These big swells should suit the big skater. Leading 60 mile, Konica Minolta. Ross Christensen, Greg Brink, Dave King, And I think a couple of others joining them for the race here at Whitianga. Espresso Engineers, Mike Gerbic and Dave Vasey. They are second in the early laps for the 60-mile category for the Whitianga round here. Slotting into the third position is the Sports 60 Restricted Auckland District Collections. That is Mike Knight and Nigel Smethurst running the Mercury 200-powered Sonic hull. They are leading the Sports 60 Restricted class from John O'Hanley in Marine Works. Energizer joining them for the first time this weekend on the side of that boat. The reigning Sports 60 Restricted New Zealand champions battles further back Formula Honda. That's Ray Glass out to the right. Auckland District Collections were on board with Mike Urquhart and James Downs, so Ray Glass with the early ascendancy. As the race between Fairview and Doosan continues, and there's still nothing in this race. Big lift there for Doosan. That's cost them a boat length. Fairview again start driving away. This is close.
Someone's down a bit through this. I'm just starting to now.
Sam Fillmore just asking Carey to trim the boat down, just making that adjustment with the drives to get the boat to sit in the water a little bit better. A little bit more predictable over these big swells. Formula Honda. Auckland District Collections too look like they've just slipped ahead of Ray Glass. So we're back on board with Doosan. A couple of big lifters there. So these swells are proving difficult. Now you can see the different colour in the water back out towards Central Island. It's beautiful and blue, but with these tidal surges from the earthquake out of Japan, it's picked up all of the mud and silt off the bottom of the harbour, and it's quite a different colour as you head back down towards the beachfront off the edge of the harbour. So Fairview again just sneak ahead on this shorter run along the beachfront. There's Pro Floors rejuvenated after their third place finish at Napier. They've made all sorts of changes to this race boat. Wayne Velder, joined by Richard Shawes. There's the chase helicopters right above the deck of their 34-foot Phantom superboat.
Do you hate all that glare from the bright sun and those harmful UV rays? Do you ever experience trouble driving against the sun? What if there were a pair of sunglasses that helped stop the sun's harsh rays, but also provided exceptional color, contrast, and clarity? Introducing HD Polaris sunglasses, the 100% polarized sunglasses that make everything you see come alive. HD Polaris's polarized lens technology acts like a filter, creating a barrier of protection for your eyes and only allowing in clear vision enhancing light. While regular sunglasses make everything appear darker, HD Polaris sunglasses improve and enhance your vision. Light reflects off almost anything and concentrates into bright glare. HD Polaris's special polarization filter deflects this harsh glare, giving you a clearer view of the road. These are perfect for drivers, hikers, bikers, walkers, runners, golfers, beachgoers, and anyone that ever goes outside. If you love to live your life outside, then you need to get a pair of HD Polarises. And HD Polaris provides a full wraparound design for maximum skin protection around your eyes. HD Polaris even has powerful magnets built right in that securely clip anywhere. Never lose your sunglasses again.
So if you would like to make everything you see come alive with our polarization filter, you can now protect your eyes and enhance your vision with your very own HD Polaris sunglasses in classic black or tortoiseshell for only $49.95. But wait, call right now and we'll give you not one, but 2 pairs absolutely free. That's buy one, get 2 free. Plus you'll get our amazing 7-year guarantee. If you ever damage them, we'll replace them free. Just pay processing and handling. So don't miss this great offer. Buy one, get 2 free. So go online now to hdpolaris.co.nz. That's hdpolaris.co.nz for this buy one, get 2 free offer. This offer is not available in stores, so go online or call now.
So here's our Formula Honda leaders. Auckland District Collections making the right-hander, heading out towards Central Island. Mike Urquhart and James Downs Urquhart looking for his first championship win. He was sitting in the navigator's seat alongside Chris Bartlett a few seasons ago when Bartlett won the first of his 2 championships. So they're being chased by Ray Glass, another former national champ, Mike Smith. Sitting alongside him, Bobby Lloyd, a team based out of Wellington. Slotting into the 3rd position is Total Oil, James Taylor and Shannon Thickpenny. All of these teams running identical 19-foot Sonic hulls with the BF150 Honda 4-strokes on the stern. This is CRD Automotive. Colin and Corey Dunn. Oh, a moment there for CRD. And let's have a look on their onboard with the Ray Glass replay. Doesn't look like much from the outside, but there was a fair bit of sky going on there. They just settle the boat back down on the water, and there's the camera helicopter just to their left. So back to our 60-mile championship leaders, leading 60-mile here, but they've got a battle on their hands with Espresso Engineers applying pressure. Ross Christensen giving the thumbs up on the wheel. There is Espresso. They have lost a little bit of ground on the last lap. Gap is close to a minute as Connacher were heading back out to Central Island. Espresso heading down towards the beachfront. And further problems here for Gold Force 10, Hakula Sur. There's Espresso going by them. So another DNF, unfortunately, for the big scarab in the 60-mile category. Poor Huck has had a shocker of a season. So Connacher leads from Espresso. This is Auckland District Collections 1. Mike Knight in 3rd, and it's still John O'Hanley in that 4th position in Marine Works. And problems here for Red Steel, out of 6th position overall. And it looks like an engine issue. They've got the right side engine cover off the back. So that's going to aid NewZealandBlokes.co.nz. All of the pressure is off them now. They can cruise to the finish. 5th overall on the water behind the big superboats. And looking for their 5th consecutive win for 2011, Flea Coolan and Bob Smith. Back on board with the race leader Fairview, but there's not a lot in it still.
That's it. Stand by, we're calling them C Charlie. Should be answering to that over.
On board with Doosan, they're on the left. Fairview out to the right. And they look to be pretty close again. How close is that? There's Fairview just coming into picture. Big lifter there for Fairview on the right. And another one. Well, that was close. Let's have a look at the Ray Glass replay. Fairview just get a hanger. It lands on the right side and turns the boat left. You don't have to wonder why the Doosan boys had some concerns.
Just be careful, eh? Yeah, nice.
What an amazing race. Doosan trying to get that acceleration run up the inside at the top mark. Fairview stay out to the right. Pro Floors still not too far behind them as Chic Hydro in 4th, having their own big hanger off the top of the swells here at Whitianga.
Didn't see that, mate.
Say again?
I didn't see that one.
Set nicely though.
Yeah, mate.
Scotty Lewis saying they didn't see that one, but Murray Tuffin saying the boat sat nicely as this Formula Honda battle continues. It's still Auckland District Collections 2. And they've extended slightly over Ray Glass. They just come into picture now. So Ray Glass with a little bit of work to do to deny Auckland District Collections 2 their 5th consecutive round victory. There's Total Oil in that 3rd position and back on board with 4th. Colin and Corey Dunn in CRD Automotive. And again, another moment just off the beachfront there, setting the boat up on the stern. On board for the Ray Glass replay, and sky, then water. That got a little bit higher than their last effort. They maintain 4th overall. Red Steel are back up and running, but they are the better part of close to 2 laps down on NewZealandBlokes.co.nz, so looking to salvage a finish here. back up and running. Tony Carson and Brooke Fortner in red steel. Back on board with the race leaders. Where's Doosan?
Doosan up the inside. I'll keep an eye on them.
There they are on board with Carrie Gleeson and Sam Fillmore. They've got a run here again. They won't want a repeat of the last lap where Fairview just caught an awkward swell, landed on the right side of the boat and turned left right in front of them. This is stunning, stunning offshore powerboat racing. A big lifter there. You can hear Sam Fillmore on the microphone looking out the back of Doosan.
We'll go up, push them up, push them, and then we'll hook around like we did last time.
Fairview sitting very, very flat over these big swells. Certainly Doosan will look to be a lot better trim-wise. This race is on.
Yep, nice.
So Fairview really tight at the top mark, not giving that inside lane to Doosan this time. Could this be the chance to get away for Fairview Windows and Doors? They've pulled a good 6 boat lengths out of that top mark. Welcome back to Whitianga for arguably the best race of the championship to date. Konica Minolta continue to lead 60 Mile. Now, just looking at their left side engine, the engine cover is off that engine on that shot. Espresso Engineers still the better part of a minute down on them in second. But if Konica Minolta got some issues there, the engine cover was definitely off their left side Mercury Verado power plant. And that is a problem. Konica slowing, heading back out towards Centre Island. They've made the turn off the beachfront. This is going to allow Espresso Engineers to slip ahead, and that's the engine cover that one of the crew have got, and they're going to hand it over to one of the support boats. So problems there for Konica Minolta as the action continues for the main race, the 100 Mile, and Pro Floors now starting to make some gains on Doosan. On the beachfront, just listening to the Chic Hydro crew, they've hit something out there on the race course and are down on straight line speed, so they're losing ground. But look at this race. Doosan have got back around Fairview. I thought at that last mark turn at the top of the course that Fairview had got away. Watch this. Big lifter there for Doosan. This race is absolutely full on for the 5th round. It's make or break for the championship. Fairview with a 200-point lead going in. It's 475 points for a victory, 375 for second, 300 points for third. As Doosan are going to look to maybe cross over and get this inside run again at the top mark. Fairview, though, shut them down. Doosan have to go through the rooster tail. So smart driving there by Chris Hanley, not giving that inside opportunity again to Doosan, which looks to be the better boat, accelerating out of the slower corners. And again, they pull 6 to 8 boat lengths. Fairview continue their charge on down towards the waterfront. Along the beachfront is Chic Hydro. So I've just heard from the Chic Hydro crew that Murray Tuffin and Scott Lewis have hit something out there on the course. And they're just looking to bring this boat home to the finish. So they're 4th on the water overall behind Pro Floors, Doosan and Fairview. This is 5th overall, leading lights, NewZealandBlokes.co.nz. Fleet Coolin and Bob Smith looking for their 5th consecutive victory. But for the 60 Mile, Konica Minolta have got back up and running. Sands engine cover. This is the run to the checkered flag to finish 60 Mile. They've made up about 30 seconds on Espresso Engineers, but Espresso, with the acceleration out of the final corner, will take out 60 Mile. And that's their first 60 Mile victory in 2011. Konica Minolta will get second with that engine cover problem. Third across the line, it will be Auckland District Collections, 1 Mike Knight and Nigel Smethurst, and they'll take out the Sports 60 restricted victory here in Whitianga as well. The 5th consecutive class victory for the restricted class. And behind them it will be the reigning New Zealand champions, John O'Hanley. In Marine Works Energizer, Ashley Hanley sitting alongside in the Formula Honda battle. Rayglass closing down to the checkered flag, but it's going to be win number 5 for Mike Urquhart and James Downs in Auckland District Collections 2. Rayglass in 2nd, Total Oil in 3rd, CRD Automotive crossing the line in 4th. But it's not over the 100-milers. This race is absolutely still on, and we've got a 3rd boat in the picture. Pro Floors have made some huge gains in the last couple of laps. Looking out the back of Doosan, that's Pro Floors to the right. You can see the wake from Fairview to the left now as Doosan cross over to go to the outside on the run up towards Centre Island. So Pro Floors, they want a part to play. In the final laps here, they get a big inside run. So we've got a 3 big boat battle for 100 Mile at Whitianga. Fairview Windows and Doors, Doosan's and hometown favourites, Pro Floors. Pro Floors and Doosan both look to be gaining here on Fairview. Well, I said earlier on, it was arguably the best race of the championship. I think it has become the best race of the championship. Just a couple of laps left to go here for 100 Mile. Doosan certainly hasn't given up. Fairview with a narrow lead. They cannot afford to make a mistake. Chic Hydro are on the other side of the course, trying to get to the finish, having hit something out on the race course. There's 5th overall, nzblokes.co.nz. You can see that watercolour change. That's with the tidal surges. They had the tide going in and out in the space of 3 minutes before the race start, and it's just brought up all that material off the sea bottom. Red Steel a couple of laps down, but they'll still be 6 overall, 2nd in class. Again, fantastic shots. You could see the rotor shadow off the back deck of Red Steel. From the top mark, Fairview narrowly ahead. Pro Floors trying to pull up alongside Doosan, the battle for 2nd. And really, it's not so much of a battle for 2nd because Fairview are only just ahead. Big lifter there for Doosan. Kerry Gleeson getting right out of the throttles. Pro Floors right up alongside, got the inside run down towards the beachfront. You can see that watercolour change on that rear onboard shot. Doosan to the outside. Pro Floors have sneaked up the inside here. Back on board with Doosan. Fairview now with a little bit of an advantage out in front while Pro Floors and Doosan are battling for 2nd. Pro Floors will be scored in 2nd. There's the gap, Fairview. So Pro Floors definitely getting better in the second half of the championship. They struggled at the first 3 rounds with mechanical issues. I think it was a fuel pump on Lake Taupo. As the helicopter picks up Fairview heading back out towards the top of the course. Pro Floors now into 2nd, Doosan back in 3rd.
Roger.
So it's the last lap run home. Fairview have put down Chic Hydro a lap. As we said earlier on, they've hit something out on the race course. Pro Floors pull up alongside, they'll motor on by them as well. So Chic Hydro will get 4th overall, but Fairview just in the last lap have gotten away from Pro Floors and Doosan. Look for Doosan to come into the picture shortly here. Big lift and right up alongside Chic Hydro. So it's been a troubled season, a great start for Murray Tuffin and Scott Lewis and Chic, who were up with the front runners at the first 2 rounds at Taupo and Gisborne. and they had a drive failure at Gisborne, and that's really hurt them as we concentrate on the race later, bringing it home. Fairview Windows and Doors win number 4 out of 5 rounds of the championship to consolidate their championship lead. Warren Lewis and Chris Hanley. Best result of the season for Pro Floors. Wayne Valder and Richard Shaw's. They will pick up second place here at their home race in Whitianga. What a race it's been. Doosan will finish third overall, the reigning NZ1s. I'm sure these boys will have a lot to talk about after this one. Well, what an amazing race here at Whitianga. Fairview Windows and Doors taking the victory to extend their championship lead. Pro Floors second, Doosan third, followed by Schick Hydro, New Zealand Blokes and Red Steel. New Zealand Blokes again taking their 5th consecutive lights victory out of 5 rounds so far. For 60 Mile, Espresso Engineers narrowly defeat the Konica Minolta, who had some issues. Auckland District Collections 1 ahead of Marine Works, with Auckland District Collections 2 5th and 1st in Formula Honda from Ray Glass.
Patented performance, unmatched shine, drill-powered ease, 360-degree coverage, where simplicity meets perfection. The new shape of shine. Experience it with the all-new Mother's Power Cone 360 Precision Polisher.
For more than 50 years on Boxing Day, they have raced motorbikes on the cemetery circuit at Wanganui. The last race of the day is called the Robert Holden Memorial, and this is it from 2006.
Welcome back to the Sangong Cemetery Circuit for 2005, as the stage is now set for the first of what is one of the most prestigious titles on the streets. That is the Robert Holden Memorial. We do the whole Superbike Grand Prix. Starts 10 minutes before the race starts. The boys line up in their grids. Off comes the tyre warmers. The flag goes down and we're racing. Normally we'd be racing for 8 laps. This time it is 15. So a different mindset, Paul.
Yeah, you've got to be focused, smooth. Jason McEwen got a cracker at the start. He's riding the Sean Harris sponsored machine.
Well, we're on board here with Jared Love. The camera sitting just on the fairing by the fork leg. And you can see just how fast these machines go as they disappear down Taupo Quay.
Oh, this is intoxicating. I just love that view.
Jason McEwen, we said it in the first Formula One race, it's a miracle that the man is back. He had it nearly, certainly nearly a career-ending, some would have said a life-ending crash at Taupo about 18 months ago. He's battled back and he's come back to as good as he's ever been. He was the master at Wanganui. Maybe we're going to see the return here, Paul.
I think so, and I think he's riding a smaller machine. I've got a feeling it's a 750, which would make a lot of sense around here. See all the cement dust? Somebody spilled some oil. You've got to keep away from that. There's oil underneath that cement and it's very slippery.
Well, you were saying that when it rains, it's the slipperiest circuit in New Zealand, I guess. Hot, dry conditions here, but still a lot of traction to be found.
Well, we're getting very close to those hay bales. You do not want to brush those with your handlebar or you're going to bite the dust.
So McEwen in the front, Jared Love through in second place. Always a consistent fast starter. Probably gets that from his motocross background. Very aggressive. Stroud's made amends for what happened on the 600 because he's up into third place now as we go back on board here. Wow, what a pass!
No, he didn't. He tried to go up the inside and he got the gate slammed in his face.
Jason McEwen, look how far he hangs off the bike as they work their way up into the Kawasaki curve. It's McEwen in the front, then it's the Honda of Love, then it's the number 1 brother Suzuki of Andrew Stroud, and right on the back of them is number 56. And don't you dare discount Craig Sheriff. He may be on a 600. He's already lowered the track record. What are we going to see here?
The Honda, he's done something wrong. He must have trouble with his brakes because that was way too easy. He's gone from first to fourth in 2 corners.
He's let 3 of them slip through, and that's not like Jared Love at all. He's trying to make amends for it now, using the extra power of the 1,000 as they work their way across the railway line and head up towards the Robert Holden Memorial. But look at the gap that's grown between first and second.
If he's got brake troubles, he's got to stay focused and have a clear head and not get the red haze on because he'll end up in trouble on that bike round here.
56, he's the danger man from my way of thinking, Paul, and that is Craig Sheriff starting to work on this bunch now as you get the onboard shots as they work up towards the Vespa Bridge. This is Jared Love's view of it. Ahead of him, it's Andrew Stroud, and in the front, it's still Jason McEwen, number J on the Rico Suzuki.
Well, the Honda boys have got to be reasonably happy. This is one of their best results so far. He's up the front at the sharp end.
Out on the Taupo Key, they will come as they negotiate this right-hander. Andrew Stroud gets a little bit closer now. This is easily the fastest part of the circuit. Paul, how fast?
Oh, you're probably doing 90 mile an hour up that straight, maybe 100 mile an hour.
Across the railway lines they go. McEwen, the Rico Motodynamics Suzuki, then it's Andrew Stroud, Pirelli Sean, brother Suzuki, right in behind him it's number 69 on Michelin tyres, and that is the Blue Wing Honda. And a problem there from Andrew Stroud once again.
Uncharacteristic. Andrew Stroud's making a lot of bobbles today, and you know, it's just unusual. The guy's that good, it just doesn't make those sort of simple errors.
Well, maybe the head's not there, or maybe, Paul, the pressure's on, because we saw that in the first round of the road racing. I mean, the racing's been as fierce as we've ever seen it, and there's certainly no let up here.
Well, the pressure's certainly on, and I think you made a valid point before. Craig Sheriff, I believe he's getting held up. His cornering speed is much faster than these big bikes.
And I guess, and you'd know this more than me, the lines would be slightly different for the 1000s as opposed to the 600s. I guess he'd want to carry the speed on the 600.
Well, those big bikes, you know, they're in second gear, first and second gear, and honestly, you gas those things up and they're snaking, they're spinning the back wheel. You can see the black lines coming through the corners.
Back on board here with Jared Love just up ahead of him. It is Jason McEwen.
Certainly want to avoid those manhole covers too, because they're really slippery.
Oh, there goes Sheriff down the inside as they work through the Kawasaki curve, heading for the bridge now, and Craig Sheriff has got his way into third place. Now we'll be able to see if your theory's correct, Paul. Is he being held up because he's already put a bit of distance between himself and Jared Love?
Well, Jared will be wanting to whip that big, powerful Honda up down the straight, but I don't think he's going to get there. No, he hasn't done it.
Andrew Stroud out on the front. This is the battle for second, third and fourth. It's Jason McEwen from Sansom. Then it is 56 Craig Sheriff from Fielding. Then it's 69 Jared Love. And then it's the Australian Chris Seaton starting to come to play in this party as well.
And for our folks at home too, the way to tell, the yellow boards are on the 600s and the white boards where the letters or numbers are the big 1000cc grunters.
Back on board here with Jared Love, now back in fourth place. So it looks to me like Craig Sheriff has got past Jason McEwen as well. So Sheriff now maybe up in the second. We'll confirm that for you. There it is, number one, Andrew Stroud in the front.
That's a symphony. Listen to that 12, 13,000 revs. They're really screaming.
Oh, how close does Sheriff want to come to the hay bales down the front straight? How hard is he trying on this little 600? Andrew Stroud just shuts the door as they work through the Repco turn. Now head down into Bridgestone. Hard on the brakes, number 56 looking for a way down the inside. They get very close indeed. And down Taupo Key. Well, I guess he has to, he pays the price a little bit under the horsepower, and then he comes straight back through Suzuki.
That's serious precision, because I'm talking like another 30, 40 millimetres, and he's going to get hooked up in that bale, and that will be tragic.
Watch number 56, the Haldane Suzuki of Craig Sheriff's. It's the master, though, out on the front. He spoke too soon. He dives down the inside through Kawasaki, and he makes the pass look easy.
Yeah, that cornering speed on that little bike is superior.
Heading up over the Vespa Brakes Bridge once again. 56, Craig Sheriff's. He's been in this position before. He's here again at Wanganui. Andrew Stroud comes back at him and takes the spot back.
That's the power, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Up the inside, there you go. Pushed him out of the way.
Sheriff's has got track position as they work through Bridgestone Corner, out onto Taupo Key once again. Now, can Stroud come back? Remember, Stroud number one on the 1000cc machine, but the fastest man on two wheels here at Wanganui holds him out, and I think he'll do it right down to the flag now, Paul.
He certainly will. That was very brave. Andrew was too smart. He wasn't going to have a go up the inside over those railway lines. They're too bumpy.
And look what's happened here. While these two are dicing for the lead, Jason McEwen's got back on to the lead bunch.
Yeah, never give up, eh? He's just a fighter right through and through.
56, Craig Sheriff from Fielding on the Haldane Suzuki. Right in behind him, it's another Suzuki in the form of Andrew Stroud, and that's the way they're going to finish in heat number one of the Robert Holden Memorial. Craig Sheriff gets the win on the Suzuki GSXR 600. In second place, it's Andrew Stroud. Then it was Jason McEwen. Then it was Chris Seaton. And in fifth place, Jared Love. Well, you've had a fantastic day, and you keep slicing seconds off that track record.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Actually, I'm not sure what's going on. Having Stroudy in front of me just tows me along, you know, so I've got to ride pretty hard to keep up with him.
You've come to grips a bit more with the superbike round here now?
Yes, yeah, I'm still working at ways to keep the front wheel on the ground. I made it as long as possible now, so the back wheel's right back, which, you know, start losing a little bit of traction, but at least I can wind it on a bit more down the straight.
Well, another crowd pleaser here at the Sanyong Cemetery Circuit are the sidecar boys, and we've got the Australian-New Zealand Challenge. And I can tell you there's already been bad news for Australia because Doug Shivers hasn't been able to make the line. So that means all the Australian hopes will rest in the form of number S, and that is Stacey Seller and Kerry McLeod. And a bit of a coming together in the first turn. It's hard enough on two wheels, Paul. It must be super hard when these rigs are as wide as they are.
Absolutely. Looks like downtown Auckland on a Friday night. Well, I'm impressed too, Phil. Look at the crowd. It's just huge. They're about 15 deep in places.
Well, as we said, it's probably one of the bigger crowds we've seen here at the Cemetery Circuit in the last 10 years. And I guess a lot of that has to do with the fact that later on tonight, of course, will be the Jimmy Barnes concert.
Yeah, great legend.
Yes, Seller in the front, number 2, and that is Phil Law and Angus Ravenswood from Gisborne in second place, the Dave Utes panel beaters rig. And right in behind them, number 53, a bit of a surprise, Steve Braun and Dion Weed, the locals on the Yamaha here from Wanganui.
Sure is. I'm just impressed too with these boys from Gisborne. They're always at the sharp end and they never give in. They're just so focused.
Well, you know, if you saw our coverage of Pukekohe, I was talking to Stacey Seller and he said he wasn't looking forward to coming to the street circuits because this machine on your screen, the LCR Suzuki, is a World Championship caliber winning machine. It's designed to be steered round the turns rather than forced round and thrown in backwards and sideways like you'll see here at Wanganui today. So maybe, if there is a disadvantage for the Australian pair at the front, it's that.
I'm sure too, Phil, it probably won't have the suspension travel that some of our local chairs have got. You know, it's used to European smooth flowing circuits, not a bumpy road circuit around Wanganui.
Look at the distance that the front two have put on number 53, Steve Braun and Dion Weed already. And right in behind them, it's another one of the Australian combinations.
Certainly is a crowd favourite, Phil. You know, people just go crazy when the sidecars come out. They love them.
Well, I said an Australian combination. It's an Australian-Kiwi collaboration because it's Ron Curran, hence the RC, but it's David Stead, the Wanganui boy, that's swinging for him. And this is a battle for third and fourth, and it's an absolute beauty.
Well, there's a big clunk of hay hanging off the side of that mudguard too. See it? It's clipped the bales on the 53 machine.
Well, the Wanganui favourites out on the front, number 53, Steve Braun and Dion Weed. In this battle anyway, that's the battle for third and fourth. Out on the front, it is S, Stacey Seller and Kerry McLeod from Australia. We concentrate on this battle as they work their way up and over the railway line and down past Suzuki once again. This is the battle at the front, Seller and McLeod on the Sanyong rig.
A lot of tactics in sidecar racing too. Like on two wheels, you can be a bit opportunistic. Like someone who's gone, hey, AWOL, you can be a little bit opportunistic on a two-wheel bike because gaps happen quickly. But on a chair, you know, you've got to plan your passing manoeuvres. You can't just barge through.
Across the stripe they come once again. It is the Australian combination of Stacey Seller and Kerry McLeod. But Paul, you've got to say they're not having it all their own way. At Pukekohe they ran away and hid from the closest challenger in the New Zealand camp, but this time it's Gus and Phil Law. They're right on them.
Yeah, well, New Zealanders love road circuits.
Oh, problems there for the Ross Curran combination and David Stead into the hay bales, and I think the front end just tracked the bales and then sucked the whole machine in. That was a nasty, nasty accident.
Yeah, well, I hope they're okay. That looked pretty vicious.
Meantime, the racing continues out the front. It is Stacey Seller from Australia. The Australian team here with the help of McCulloch Transport and Aircom Systems and, of course, Sanyong. But they are getting absolutely monstered by the Gisborne pairing of Phil Law and Angus Ravenswood. And it is so, so close, so different to what we saw on the tracks at Manfield and Pukekohe.
The marshals will be assessing that situation because an upside-down side chair takes up a lot of the track.
Well, it's dead right, and there we are. The red flags come out, and the race has been declared. It was scheduled to go over 8. It is declared at the 5-lap mark, so that means the win will go to Stacey Seller and Kerry McLeod. In second place, it will be Phil Law and Angus Ravenswood, and in third place, number 53, the locals, Steve Braun and Dion Weed. Fourth place will be number 27, Dave Annan and Phil Duffy.
Retro Motorsport is brought to you by ACBE, everything you need to supercharge your business. The Auckland Centre for Business Excellence. This is the last show for 2024 and we're taking a break, but we will be back, baby, in January 2025.
You'd have to say as we're back on board with the circuit here at Myra. Here's the race leaders. There are all sorts of problems.
Oh, big carnage, straight to the barriers and through